In this video, we're going to cover the top 5 questions to ask before hiring a virtual assistant for your construction company. And here's the twist. It has nothing to do with construction. Hi guys, I'm Joel Lipsky, construction business owner, advocate, and educator. I spent the last 20 years in the construction industry, on the job site and in the trenches. If you are a construction leader looking for tips, tricks, and other hard lessons from the job site, then like, share, subscribe. Let's dive into it. So most construction owners think the most important questions to ask when hiring for a virtual assistant are, tell me about your construction background. What's your degree in? Do you understand submittals? Do you understand how to do a material takeoff? And listen, those questions 100% matter, but they are not the most important questions to ask. After placing hundreds of virtual assistants inside construction companies, I can tell you this: the smartest, most experienced virtual assistant will still fail if they cannot meet these 5 non-negotiables. These are the factors that determine whether someone will succeed or fail as a remote worker. These are the minimum qualifications for any remote worker. Either the candidate meets these qualifications or they don't. And inside our company, we refer to them as the minimum qualifications in order to be a virtual assistant. Before we even talk about submittals, takeoff, or construction experience, we first determine whether that person is structurally built to operate remotely. When I hire for my own company and when I hire for other clients of ours, these are the 5 standards that we use. If they miss just one of these qualifications, it's a hard no. So let's dive into it. Non-negotiable number 1, life distractions. Tell me what's going on in your life right now. Are there any distractions? Do you have kids at home? Are you homeschooling them? Do you have another business? Do you have a side business? Tell me about your living situation. Are you living with your parents, by yourself, with your spouse? Remote workers require discipline. If someone is constantly pulled away from your company, then you become secondary. And in construction, we don't have time for secondary focus, and neither does your company or your clients. I want to make sure that the virtual assistant that comes to work for me or for you is going to dedicate themselves to your company to ensure that they are meeting your expectations and your needs. I don't want to find this out 1 or 2 months into this after I put all my training and mentoring into them. So the first non-negotiable is I want to understand what's going on in your life and where you're at with certain things so I can ensure that you're going to be able to focus on the tasks that I give you. Non-negotiable number 2, dedicated workspace. Tell me about your workspace. Do you have a dedicated professional workspace? Are you working from the couch, the living room, the kitchen table? I've seen it all throughout the years. And believe me, sometimes you really regret not asking this question. I want to make sure that the virtual assistant has a real workspace because environment drives performance. If their workspace is chaotic, then the workflow and their communication will be a disaster. And this is why this is non-negotiable number 2. Non-negotiable number 3. Work hours. What are the work hours that the virtual assistant is realistically able to commit to? Do they align with my needs? Are they able to balance out their life? Are they making time to rest? Do they have enough time for the other commitments in their life? These are all very important questions that you need to ask up front. Construction moves fast. If the virtual assistant logs in whenever they feel like it, you will 100% lose momentum and get frustrated. I want clear, fixed hours that overlap with my needs or my client's needs. The virtual assistant needs to be available to me on my timeline, not theirs. No ambiguity, just clear expectations. Non-negotiable number 4, computer and internet speed. Tell me about your computer. Let's talk about your internet speed. The last thing I want to find out is that you're using Microsoft 97 on an old computer. What equipment are you working with? What's the processor? What's the RAM? What's the internet speed? Let's do an internet speed test. Do you have a backup internet? They are going to be 100% a remote worker, and these questions matter. If their system lags, then your company will lag. If they cannot run an basic estimating software, project management software, or bookkeeping software, then this relationship is not going to work. These are infrastructure questions, and infrastructure does matter. And lastly, non-negotiable number 5, do you have experience previously working as a virtual assistant? Have you actually worked as a virtual assistant before? Not on the job site, not in the office, working remotely, independently, managing tasks on your own. communicating proactively without a supervisor next to you. Remote work is a skill set, and some people are great employees in the office, but struggle when no one is there physically watching. In addition, we have found that people who try for the very first time to become a virtual assistant sometimes suffer from mental health. And we want to make sure that that is not an issue that's going to impact the clients or my company. So we want to make sure that they have experience working remotely under those conditions so that we don't have this become an issue later on. So in closing, did you notice something? None of these have anything to do with construction. Skills can be trained for, but discipline, environment, reliability, and structure, these are foundational. And let me be clear, these are non-negotiables for any virtual assistant, not just a virtual construction assistant. They set the table for success or failure. And as a business owner, you will know or quickly know what happens when you have a bad hire. You don't just lose money, you lose invaluable time. It sets you back with your vision and impacts your projects. And in construction, time is the one resource that you never get back. So lock in these 5 non-negotiables first. Then you can talk about estimating. Then you could talk about bookkeeping. Then you could talk about takeoffs, coordination, and other RFI management type stuff. At the end of the day, hiring a virtual assistant is not about finding the cheapest help or one with the most construction experience. It's about building infrastructure inside your company. When you treat these 5 areas as non-negotiables, you dramatically increase your odds for success. When you ignore them, you invite instability, chaos, and failure. Construction companies don't scale through luck. They scale through standards. So set the standard first and success will follow.